Hi, now I'm going to cover the basics fundamentals of Node.js, especially for beginners. Most of them are searching about Node.js to how to kickstart the programming in Node.js, or some of them are working in Node.js and without knowing how it works. Now I'm going to explain how it works and how to work. And one of the prerequisites of this Node.js is nothing but one and only JavaScript. In JavaScript, Node requires master level. If you are knowing about JavaScript in basics, means it's good to learn the Node.js. So, what are the topics we are going to cover in this session? So first is what is called Node.js and how it works, and what are the application of Node.js, and then we go into this installation of Node.js in the local PC, and then the REPL. We will discuss about this in this upcoming session. It's a Node.js command prompt. So one of the command section of the Node.js, and then npm Node package managers, how to handle it and how to use it, and then module creation and management. So how to create the models and how to use it, and then we're going to create the basic server and host into your local host. So this is the contents we will going to see this in our upcoming session. Let's go. So let's start. What is called Node.js? Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. So what's called the JavaScript runtime environment? It's nothing but the Node runtime environment includes everything you need to execute a program written in JavaScript. Node.js came into existence when the original developers of JavaScript extended it from something you could only run in the browser to something you could run on your machine as a standalone application. Then only it's called the running on the server. Before that, Node.js is a JavaScript environment. It's built up using Chrome V8 JavaScript. It's an engine built up using C++ and built by the Chromium developers. And so this feature running on the server, this feature is you can be able to do much more JavaScript more than just making websites interactive. So JavaScript now has the capability to do things that other scripting languages like Python can do. Both your browser JavaScript and Node.js run on the V8 JavaScript runtime engine. This engine takes your JavaScript code and converts it into a faster machine code. So machine code is a low level code which computer can run without needing to first interrupt it. So because of this building process of Node.js, it can be able to build fast, powerful and scalable applications. And there's two important features in Node.js. One is called non-blocking I/O. I/O is nothing but input-output. Non-blocking input-output model and event loop. These two features enhance capability and improve the performance and efficiency of Node.js. Please hold. I will explain these two topics in the upcoming video. What's called this non-blocking I/O? We already seen about the JavaScript built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. Now let's understand this concept. This is called the I/O. This I/O refers to the input output, and this is the concept of non-blocking. Previously, our web request and this type of responses can handle only in this blocking I/Os. So just take a look at the PHP with Apache Server Engine means it can handle only one thread at a time. So we have to wait for the response for the request and then move to the next process. So this I/O that means input output. It can be anything ranged from the reading or writing local files to make an HTTP request to an API. This input output takes time and hence blocks other functions. Consider a scenario like there are two type of users, user 1 and user 2. first we have to bind the user one data to the web file or whatever the application is like, and then we have to request the user to file from the server. So the response to this request takes time, but both of the user data requests can be carried out independently at the same time. So now let's see this scenario. Let's see this scenario in this blocking IO. In the blocking method, user to data request is not initiated. That means we have to get the user data request from the server. It will not initiate it until user one data is printed on the HTML screen. So user one data printing on the HTML screen is our first process. User two data request is our second process. So data request process is wait until this user one data printed on the HTML screen. If this was a web server, we would have to start a new thread for every new user. But JavaScript is a single threaded. It has a single threaded event loop. We will discuss about it in our upcoming session. So this would make JavaScript not very well suited for multi-threaded tasks. That's where the non-blocking part comes in this JavaScript. So what's called the non-blocking input-output. On the other hand, using a non-blocking request, you can initiate a data request for user 2 without waiting for the response to the request for user 1. You can initiate both requests in parallel. So this is a non-blocking IO, eliminates the need for multi-threading since the server can handle the multiple requests at the same time. This is called a single thread using non-block input-output calls. So it can be able to support many concurrent connection. So this type of operation can optimize the operation calls request in our web application or whatever the Node.js applications, and it will initiate the event loop mechanism to get the concurrent request at the same time. So this is the main reason behind the Node.js application is fast and efficient. So event loop. This event loop is nothing but a call stack. This call stack contains many callback function. This event loop call all the callback function until this call stack will be empty. So every callback function do some operation and return some response and call some request. So this is the operation helps the non-blocking IO to continue the calling of the callback function repeatedly and make the JavaScript synchronous. So we've seen how the Node.js has been working, and now what can we build with the Node.js? So first one is one of the important application is REST APIs. REST is a representational state transfer applicational programming interface. It is this application will able to help the website applications or some mobile application to help to get, put, post or delete the data to the server, and it helps to fetch the data from server to the applications. This APIs and all makes a great revolution among this normal website applications to make it as more faster and efficient. And this Node.js can be able to make more backend applications. So this will make the most of the application into the thick client from thick client to thin client applications. So it will make the users feel light browser, and it will this Node.js reduce the client side functionalities and move the hot functions from the client side to the server side. So what's called the real-time application. The real-time applications like chats and some real-time update informations and all made up of using this type of Node.js. and libraries, modules and tools to separate some of the libraries, some of the modules from the main applications, and where we can use it whenever we want to use the libraries model, we can able to import that libraries as a node package manager. So we will see about the node package manager in the upcoming sessions. And then node client side. So this is mainly the Node.js is not a client side functionalities. So we can do whatever the functionality in the server side and just bind the application results in the client side. So we already seen about this Node.js package manager in the previous application section. So this Node.js package manager comes during the creation of project. Initially, it will contain some basic modules to run your project. If you want to add some additional dependency or functionality to your project, means you have to install that npm and then import it to your project. So this type of all node modules installed and saved in your node modules folder. So modules is saved in npm manager. It's nothing but it's a complete JavaScript libraries to do some JavaScript operations. Here you have to use a require method to import the node modules, this particular modules from the node modules to your project and the particular project file. So then only you will use this. You use that functionality of the module. You also can able to create your own module using Node.js. So you have to use a create and export to create method to create your node modules, and use the export method to export your node modules to the modules section. Once you export the modules to the node modules code, after that you can able to import that node module to any of your project file. Now we are going to see the architecture of Node.js. So how it is works. So what's called the runtime environment, and how the JavaScript run the outside of the browser, and how it will develop previously, how the JavaScript had run, now how it will run, and what is the structure of Node.js. So we will see that in this topic. So let's see the architecture of Node.js. So Node.js is nothing but it's a runtime environment of JavaScript. So what's called the runtime environment? Previously, before the invention of Node.js, there is only possible to run the JavaScript code. It's only possible within the browser. Actually, what's the functionality of this JavaScript? Is a browser language. So what's the runtime environment? Only browser only have that environment to convert that browser language into machine level code. So that is only possible within the browser. Every browser have separate own JavaScript transpiling engines. Just take a look in Chrome. Chrome have V8 engine, and Mozilla have SpiderMonkey, and Edge browser have Chakra. So these are the JavaScript engines to transpiling the code, JavaScript code into machine level code. Every engine has separate JavaScript libraries. Then only some type of JavaScript codes and are not working in some other browsers. Just like the codes working perfectly in the Chrome browser, but it will not work in the Mozilla browser. So due to the different version of different kind of JavaScript runtime engines, so that type of error will occur. Actually, this type of environment only running in the browser until 2009. So after Rian Dahl is the inventor of Node.js. He actually took out the V8 engine from the browser, and he placed that engine with the help of C++ in the outside of the browser. So he create one V8 engine along with plus C++. He invented Node.js. So now this is the Node.js, the runtime environment, the running perfectly running outside of the browser. But what is the difference? So yeah, we completely took out the JavaScript from the browser, but we can be able to access the DOM elements of the browser. Like we can be able to access the document section of the browser, but we can be able to create some interesting capabilities than the normal browser engine. Here we can able to accessing files, we can able to import various type of modules to create more interesting functionalities in the browser. And one more thing, JavaScript is not a programming languages like C, C++, C#. It's just an environment, it's just an engine to run the JavaScript outside of the browser. And one more thing, it's not the framework like .NET. So this is just a compiler to compile the programs. So this is a compiler. Then we move to the next part, and how it works. So we already seen about the non-block input-output model and some other that multi-thread event loop things. So what's called that asynchronous non-blocking things. So asynchronous means it's not a synchronous. So what's called synchronous? So previously we have moved to some example. Just take a restaurant. There is some restaurant with have a capability to there are some waiters separately allocated for some particular tables. So that waiters only give the preference to the allocated tables and go to the kitchen and what are the menus we ordered to tell that to the chef and wait until that food have to prepare, and then took that food and come to that particular table. So this is called the synchronous order. The waiter come to your table and take your order and go to the kitchen and wait until the chef prepare your food and take that food to your table. So this is called synchronous, as well as blocking IO. So now what's called the asynchronous? Asynchronous is nothing but non-blocking, is also called as non-blocking IO. Here in this, just go back to our previous example. So here there is no allocated waiter for the particular table. You go to the restaurant and there is only one waiter in that hotel. He will come to your table and take your order and go to the kitchen and give an instruction to the chef to prepare your food, and then move to the next table and take that order also, and then go to the kitchen and give that order to the chef and take your food to your table. So this is called the asynchronous. Here the waiter don't wait until the chef prepare your food. So this is the waiter doing multiple threads and don't wait for the result of the particular thread. So this is called the non-blocking IO. This is one of the main advantages of Node.js, and this is that waiter is called the thread. So here the single thread, here we can able to handle the multiple requests in the single thread. So this single thread handles the same request and the response. So every server have some number of threads. So every request can hold a thread, and it will handle some response. That will handle the response. So if suppose the more number of handling requests come to the particular server means So the number of servers, number of thread will be occupied by this request, and then and that time the server will be busy. So if you want to handle the many requests, means you have to add more server in your application. If suppose you are using Node.js. So this is one of the, it's not the disadvantage, this is one of the scenarios. If suppose that many requests come to your servers, means you have to add more servers to handle more requests. It's a Node.js operations, and so this you understand now how it is working the thread. So thread will handle the request and the response. So that is a data intensive application. So if data means the data have been processed and give back to the thread, and it will send to the client side. But suppose if you give the CPU intensive operations like video encoding, video file formatting, and this is the CPU intensive work, you have to give some operation to the CPU to do some heavy operations. So in this time, a thread can have to wait until this process to have to completed. So don't give this type of CPU intensive application in Node.js. This will make the single thread keep more busy for more time. So until that next request have to be wait on the stack section. So give the data intensive. If you want to make a data intensive application like chat, games, and data processing application, means the Node.js is one of the best application to make that. It's also the perfect application to build a real-time application like the chat app game. So this is the process how the Node.js is working. So yeah, based on your requirement, you have to decide want to use Node.js or not. So theory is enough. Let's move into some coding part. So we are going to install the Node.js. Before that, we got to download the Node.js from the official website. So go to the Google and enter Node.js. Pick up our first search option, and this is our official Node.js website. We have to use that 10.15 recommended download section. Once the download is completed, open that file and install it. Accept the terms. Next, choose the location. Yeah, it will take some time to get the authorization, and then it will install. It will take some time. Node.js CLI also comes along with this installation package. That's called the REPL. Almost it is finished. Yeah. Now it's finished. Now we are going to check whether it is installed or not. Open your CLI and enter node-v. Before that, you will see the node is not recognized. Now it will return the version of the Node.js. So first move into our Node.js installation folder. This PC, program files, Node.js, and this is our Node.js. So this is our Node.js compiler. It's also called as REPL. That stands for read, eval, print, load. It is a quick and easy way to test simple Node.js. That's called the JavaScript code. Now we are going to run some basic JavaScript codes in this compiler. These codes are previously only running in browser. Now we are going to access that code in this compiler. Normally I enter one single variable, that is 2. It will return the 2. If I enter this 2 plus 2 means it will return the sum of 2. And then I am going to create one variable, the name called x, and assign one value of 5 to this variable, and it return undefined. But again I am going to call that variable, the name x, means it will return the value of that variable. Next I am going to add some number with that variable, it will return the results of the statement. Next I am going to create one date method and assign to this one variable, same it will return the undefined function, but again I am going to call that variable name d, it will return the date value. And then this compiler also supports the multi-line commands. So now I am going to create one for loop in this section. So in this for loop, it will print up to 10 numbers. So for this 3 dots means this is the next line command. So it didn't break the function statements, and it will enter the next line. So this for loop ran up to 9. And then again I'm going to create one function in this compiler. This is a function, the name is called greetings. This function needs some parameter, and this function console log means return some it print the output in this compiler. Print some high along with this input parameter value, and then I close this function. And again I am calling the function with the parameter. Passing parameter is hello, how are you? Sorry, the more statement. This is correct. Hello, how are you? This is I am passing into this function. Now it's printed in the console window with our predefined value with our passing input parameter. Of course, this is the JavaScript compiler, Node.js compiler, but it will not able to access the native browser DOM elements. So previously this variable creations, function loops, and all we can same thing we can do this in browser console window also. But here in this Node.js RDBL compiler, we can't able to access the native browser DOM elements from here. So if I am going to try this document.getElementId, the JavaScript method from here, but it will return the document is not defined error. So this is the difference between the browser console window and this Node.js window. And I am going to test one more get element method, get the element by class name. It will also return the same error. So now we are going to enter the coding part of Node.js. Here I am going to create a new folder in your PC, and choose your favorite code editor and open that folder in your editor. And then create one file. Mainly the file must be saved in JavaScript extension. I'm going to save that file as app.js. It's an important one. So once I created, I'm going to open command prompt. Move that command prompt path into our project folder and say it is in desktop. node examples. Yeah. So next I'm going to type console.log and enter some string statements. Enter as hi. This is in node. Wait, this is in JSON. Now this one is going to console in CLI called as node that file name app.js. It will return our output in the console window. Okay, now I'm again going to make some changes. Now I'm going to create one function and named as test. I'm going to give one parameter to this function as your value and console that value along with some string. So here hello. Let's test this. Node that file name. So it will not return anything because that function need some parameter, right? Before that function have to call in that file. So I'm going to call that function with one parameters, the string parameter. How are you? I call that function. It will return the hello. Now I'm going to bind that input parameter within this string. Now it returns as hello, how are you? Our output also printed with a predefined string statement. I'm going to make some changes in this, and then again I call it will return the changed output. Now I'm going to create the npm package.json file. This file specifies the project dependency, author name, version of your project, whatever this is the configuration or else the complete details about your project. So I'm going to create one new folder. Move to that folder. The command name is npm init. It will initiate the package.json file. It starts with our package name. It's called my app. So yeah. So if you plan to publish your package, means the name and version is one of the important things in your package.json. The name and version together form an identifier that is assumed to be completely unique. This is our first version, so the version is termed as 1.00. And the next thing, description. It is a keyword and string of your project. It will help us to, it's a keyword to search your project in the npm search. And the entry point of your project is index.js. So if this Node.js compiler find the index.js newer project folder, means the index.js is the first file to run on our local host. So test command is, and then git, second one is the git, important one is git repository to save your file in the git session. I will set percent and keyword. Keyword is also like a description thing to make your easier search and npm search. And the license, if your package is going to be released in some other medium, means you have to make your license for your own product. And the author name is the who created the project.json. The author name is yours, the developers or the organization name must be entered into that package.json. This is the project package.json structure. You could find that in your project folder. In desktop, this is project creation, npm creation folder. So here there's a project package.json. And here I am just give only the dummy variables and values for other name, license or whatever, and all the values are dummy. But in your real-time projects you have to give the proper version, proper name, proper license for that. This is for package, that's all about package.json, and we are going to create a model. We already discussed about models. So models in Node.js are a way of encapsulating code in a separate logical unit. There are many ready-made models available in the market which can be used within Node.js, like Express.js, Socket, Jade, MongoDB, Restify, Bluebird. Those are the ready-made Node.js models. But we are also able to creating our own npm modules in Node.js. Node.js has the ability to create custom modules and allow you to include those custom modules in your Node.js applications. We will see that with us as one simple example. So just here in this folder I am going to create one file name called savers app.js in JavaScript extension. In this file I'm going to create one variable and then export. This export keyword is used to ensure that the functionality defined in this file can actually be accessed by other files. And then I'm defining the function name called exports.add. So add, this function is defined to take two parameters a and b. The function is added to the module exports to make the function as a public function that can be accessed by other application modules. Here in this application, in this module can able to take two parameters, and that means accept two parameters and return those parameters, the sum of those two parameters. Now I'm going to create one more file, name is called app.js. Here in this file I'm going to use that app.js. So here I'm going to import that file, where variable name and hold that exports using a required keyword to include the functionality in the app.js file and giving the exact file path. So here app.js. Coming to the next window, I'm going to console.log the one of the function of the app.js. Then only we can be able to see that output in our console window. Now addition is our local variable, and in the app.js our function name is add numbers. So I'm going to call that function add numbers. This add numbers hold two parameters. So I'm going to give two parameters in this console log. So this add numbers functionalities can accept two parameters only. I'm going to give the two parameters and then save this file. Open command prompt. Clear this. So note that file name is app.js. So output of that function will be shown here. So I changed some parameters, and again I'm going to call the file. Yeah, it will update it. So now the app.js is our custom module exported by using export keyword. Now here using the required keyword to access the functionality of that app.js and used it here. So this is the method how to create your own module and how to export it and how to import it. So previously we seen that how to create the module and export it and how to import it. Now we are going to see the how to extending that modules. When creating modules, it is also possible to extend or inherit one module from another. In modern day programming, it's quite common to build a library of common modules and then extend the functionality of this common modules if required. So we will see this with some simple example to how to extend the modules. So now I am going to create a new folder to create our new extended module. In this folder I am going to create a file called as named as first.js. In this folder, in this file, saved in our new project folder, and I'm going to enter variable exports. Export module is used so that whatever function is defined in this file can be available in other modules in Node.js. So here I'm going to create an export function named as tutorial, which can be used in other Node modules. So within this module I'm going to console on string as this is from first. So this string, this console coming from the first module. Now next I'm going to create a new module, and that is called second.js. So in this JS, I'm going to import that first file using a required method. So give that exact file path. So since we are going to extend the existing module file first JS, you need to first include it. After that, create here in we are going to export this second.js file as a function named as second. So within this function I am going to console one string called console.log, and this is from second. So this is the keyword used in the Node.js to create variable. In this variable I am going to move that first module. Sorry, this is a function. Within this function I am going to create a new variable called f extension. In this extension I am going to move the spelling mistake. The first contain the modules of the first.js. Now it's moving to the f extend. So I'm going to call that function in this first from this f extend. So f extend dot, that function name is tutorial. So copy that tutorial here, paste it to avoid some mistakes. So f extend dot tutorial. Now I'm going to create one main file that's I'm going to save as a base.file. This is the main application file, and it's going to import this. It's going to call the two modules from the second module. So now I'm going to import the second module in the name of second variable second. So again I'm going to using a required function. You have to give the exact file path with the exact file name and create one variable to call this export module function. So variable second equal to instantiate that module, because this is an object. We have to call the function as an object. Now function name is second. So new second, the small second is a local, and this caps second is from the module. So this dot the second n, I'm going to use the second n, and the function name is f that
file f extension. I'm going to call this function f extension from here. Again, I call the we executed the above base.js code using node. We will get the following output in the console.log file. This is from first and this is from second. This is from the second.js file, and this is from the first module. So initially it will start from its console from second, and it will enter into the first module. In this first module, the console.log is this is from first, so it will printed like this. So this is called the how to extend the modules. Now we are going to make how to make a simple server in Node.js. Node.js framework is mostly used to create server-based applications. The framework can be easily be used to create web servers which can serve content to users. There are a variety of models such as the HTTP and request module, which helps in processing server-related requests in the web server. We will have look at how we can create a basic web server application using Node.js. So in this new file, I'm going to create a new variable. In this variable, I have to require to import the HTTP module. The basic functionality of the require function is that it reads a JavaScript file and executes a file and then proceed to return the exports object. So in our case, since we want to use the functionality of the HTTP module, we use the require function to get the required function from the HTTP module so that it can be used in our application. And then in this line of code, we are creating a server application which is based on a simple function. So this function is called whenever a request is made to our server application. So this is arranged in the loopback method. You already seen that in an IO modules and loopback methods. Here in this HTTP create server, call the function every time it will hit the request from the browser. So this is the response, right? So in this response is give the exact output when I create this server. So before that I have to save this file, and you will understand the JavaScript rules. Yeah. So in this response right head, I have to when the request is received 200 means you are saying to send a response with a header type of 200. This is called success. This is the normal response which is sent in a HTTP header when a successful response is sent to the client. In the response itself, we are sending it as a content type as a text line. If you are sending the JSON object means you have to just send us a JSON, save the JSON. In this response itself, we are sending the string hello world at the end of the request. That means our client side. So hello world in new line. The main part is we have to complete this function with the some exact closing brackets. Actually, it ended with the three things. I'm missing one thing. That's it. It's okay. I'm missing one closing paragraphs. Yeah. Here in this function, I have to click it. Yeah, now it's correct. And we are then using the server listen function to make our server application listen to client request on port number 7000. You can specify any available port over here. I'm going to run this application node server.js. This application is running. Going to our browser, open localhost 7000 is our 7000 is here. This is our output. some values in our response section. However, this is built-in Node.js into the browser. It will not update because I have to recall this application. If I stop this Node.js application, Node server.js means this hosting will be stopped. So now I am going to reload this page. This will not work. Site can be reached because I am closing this. Now I will again run this application. So reload it. It will show the output with the updated values. So this is how to create a normal simple server in Node modules. I hope you understand all the concepts in Node.js.